Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, Africa.
Hello and welcome, beloveds, to another episode of Ask Dr. Mumbi. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways, beloveds, all your ways, and that you're moving into living life truly on your own terms, reporting live and direct from the foothills of Mount Zion, just doing my thing, beloveds, living my best life. Literally, I never thought it would take a pandemic to make me live my best life, but such is life. And I really do pray that you and yours are moving into or even actually living your best life at such a time as this, because we are in the worst of times, but at the same time we're in the best of times, and it's all about perspective. Don't forget to like and share the videos. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. And I get a lot of questions on Ask Dr. Mumbi. You can always email me, drmumbi at drmumbishow.com. And I get a lot of questions asking about different spiritual things, but a lot of questions in particular about spiritual attacks, where people feel like they're being gang stalked, they're being followed, they're literally losing their minds. They feel that, when they're sleeping, their dreams are so, crazy, like they're being chased in the night by demons. I mean, really, people are going through some crazy experiences. And beloveds, it's because we are so unaware of the spiritual world that such things can happen to us. And I'm actually going to do a show as well about these spiritual, sexual predators, the succubuses and incubuses that we're told about, that will try and have sex with you, at night. What's that all about? I'll definitely do a separate show on that. But for now, the spiritual attacks, how do we stop the spiritual attacks? It's you have to power up, beloveds. There's no choice. That's the only way. The only way out is up, or the only way out is in, into yourself and coming, kind of powering yourself up. It's so important, beloveds, because there's something, so many forces have been set to impede and create obstacles in your awakening process, because you are such a key element to the Babylon system. You provide so much energy and intelligence and brilliance as a melanated people to the Babylon system. So even losing one of you, they can't afford it. So there's so much that has been programmed and set in your subconscious from birth that would basically make you trip yourself up, self-sabotage, when it came time to figuring out who you really are and what a powerful, magnificent being, limitless being that you are. And when you came into your true identity, there would be so much that would just attack you inside your mind, because it was concepts that had been fed, and the religious psychosis and all these things that we fed unknowingly, unwittingly, that now became principalities in our own mind and could actually attack us when we wanted to liberate ourselves. Because the world is mental, beloveds. The world is mental, and it's seeded from a spiritual place. But most of us are only made to look at the physical and believe in the physical, I can only believe what I seeing is believing, and all these lies that we've been told. And so that really limits our power, our capabilities, and our understanding of what is really happening to us. So sometimes, like, especially when you start to really awaken, you can be going through a spiritual attack or a mental attack from these principalities in your own mind, from other, booby traps that they've set up to kind of make you stop you from, doing you and discovering you through all these phantoms, because they're just basically phantoms in the sky, beloveds. And so all these things have been placed there to make sure that, you will fear your awakening, that even if you were to take one step forward, you'd go running back because of one thing or another. And there's so many things that have been set up for that, beloveds. And so that's how we feel the spiritual attack, is because we're breaking the chains, and we're breaking the psychosis We literally have to die to who we were and what we thought the world is. Like, we have to let all of that go and start afresh. But we're not really starting afresh, because there is spiritual knowledge that will now come to us and start to seed our new understanding and our new reality. But the spiritual attacks, they can also come from family members who don't want you to ascend, or who have been also just eating on your energy. I mean, the main source eating on your energy is the Babylon system, through your work, through your taxes, through your, just your social interaction, how much you invest in the Babylon system. That is the one thing that is taking the most energy from you. But there are other energy vampires, because you see, as chosen ones, and remember, chosen ones chose themselves. They've been here several times. You came with supersonic powers, beloveds. You came with so much energy. And that energy has been siphoned off from you, so that you could never, gather enough momentum to discover who you are and discover how simple it is to get yourself out of the Babylon system, of the Babylon mental matrix, or patrix, whatever you want to call it. And so the only way, as you're kind of trying to go through the dark, because the awakening, especially the initial stages, are not easy, because you realize first you have to face the reality that you've been told so many lies. Thanks. That you've been told so many lies by the Babylon system, by your own family, by your peers, by your teachers, by your elders, by the government system. And all those lies, every single one of those lies must be dismantled in your mind, so that you can see the truth of things. And it doesn't take and it's funny, because it's like a domino effect, almost like there's certain lies that you'll unravel and it will just take down the entire curtain. And so it's not like, it's more about reaching a certain understanding than how long it takes. So as you're going through that, beloveds, you need to be helping yourself as much as possible. And that means powering up. You have to power up, beloveds. You have to elevate yourselves, so that you're not victim to the attacks, because sometimes it's family, sometimes it's friends. And you see, people are attacking us without even knowing it, with their thoughts. Like, how can she be awakening? What's going on with her? Oh, she's, or just not even that, or just the negative thoughts and ideas and just meditations that people have of others. If you are spiritually weak, they will hit you. But if you are spiritually on another level, like above those people, those things won't even, they'll just be like darts you're watching going back and forth. And sometimes you won't even notice that a dart has been thrown, because it's just so low, it's so down there. And so that's why you want to power up, beloveds. So that those intentional and unintentional spiritual attacks just don't reach you. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, Africa.
Welcome back, beloveds, to Ask Dr. Mumbi. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? Special shout out to my Patreon family. Thank you so much for supporting us on that platform. We do have some spiritual books we'll be unleashing on there. And we do share some news, especially about the great global experiment, because there's just some things that, are being so censored out. But, if you know, you know. If you don't know, then it's really unfortunate, and you should do everything you can to research everything before you make some critical decisions for your life. But anyway, let me not digress. into that. Of course, today we're talking about spiritual attacks. People are, some people have been emailing me asking me, how do we stop the spiritual attacks? What can I do about the spiritual attacks? I feel like, I'm being attacked in my dreams, or my family is doing this, my mother's doing that, my sisters are, hexing me, my, brother took me to the Jew, all these things, because these are realities, beloveds, that many people are living with it without knowing. And sometimes it's just like, because all of us are such powerful beings, especially, some of the families that we choose to be born into, people can be cursing and hexing you without even knowing. They can be impeding your progress without even knowing. And that's how Babylon has conquered, is by dividing even families. And that's how even what's happening right now, what we're seeing with the grand experiment. And so with everything that, with this whole, with all these attacks coming, where, and an attack is a negative thought towards you. And that can be taken to all kinds of levels, where people actually either take action on those thoughts, speak out those thoughts, which gives those thoughts power, actually, pray and meditate that something can happen to you. These are the realities. Go to their witch, doctor, or wizard to, do something for you. There's a lot that's being done. And this is the whole thing about the secret knowledge. A lot of the people that you see ahead are using secret knowledge, the fact that you're ignorant of who you are. So they, they'll be in the church congregation, go to the juju man on Saturday and go to church on Sunday and hex your ass, seriously. But there's a lot of these things that are happening, and some you won't know until you get further along the awakening, and then you'll realize, whoa. So this is what so-and-so was doing. This is why this and this happened. Because everything is revealed. Truth is the greatest corrector of the confusion that we're in. And so in order to stop the spiritual attacks, beloveds, you have to power up. And the way you power up is you start refining yourself. Start refining what you're eating. I say this all the time. It's the basic 5. I don't even know if they're 5. Refine what you're eating, beloveds. Really get off those meats and everything, because those create portals for people to attack you, and for certain lower vibrational spirits to even dwell inside you, and for certain things to even reach you. The curses and misfortunes of others to even penetrate you. So you have to start eating lean and mean. And I'm not going to get into that discussion. If you know, you know. If you really want to get to the highest echelons of spirituality, then you really have to, refine what you're eating, beloveds. Plant-based from your own garden would be that's the highest level. The second thing is really be very, very aware of what you're allowing into your system, the kind of thoughts, the kind of news, the kind of entertainment, the kind of music. Really protect your gates, your ear gates, your eye gates, your nose gate. Yeah, for real, Protect them. Protect what you're also saying, so that you're never lowering. Because sometimes with our tongue, we put ourselves at the enemy's level so they can attack. Especially these I am, and then you put a negative statement after it. People will put depressed, angry, frustrated, tired, whatever. But those are just, we've been taught to trivialize our words, when our words are so, so powerful and have the power to transform our realities. So, it's really important to really pay attention to what we're saying about ourselves and what we're saying about others, the kind of conversations we're engaging in. This is how you power up, because there's so much energy that's wasted in these unnecessary conversations, unnecessary situations, and especially if you're low vibe, then you're just really just hemorrhaging energy. And then research, get to know more. whatever you need so that you can understand who you are, whether you need to dive into history, whether you need to dive into, you know, the pyramids or whatever you need to go into, whatever research you need to do, whatever conversations you need to hear to kind of continuously break off that the brainwashing that's been done, to restore you to yourself. Engage more in that. And as you're powering up, you'll start to hear as you do certain things. Make sure you're getting out in nature more and more and more. Make sure you're working out. Make sure you're just getting some of this, amazing sun, beloveds. And just allowing that to just penetrate your whole being if you have the opportunity to. But make sure you're out and bonding with nature as much as possible. Because then that will start to tune you out of the matrix and into your own voice, into your own story, into your own narrative, into your own guidance. And as you do that, beloveds, as you power up, because of a lot of the spiritual attacks are happening on a lower level, beloveds, that you're not on, like on a much lower level. So as you power up, as you elevate yourself with deeper understanding, overstanding, and inner standing, doing the work on your body, taking the spiritual baths, doing the necessary, rituals. And I should do a show on rituals to kind of help you release, because, and I'll do a show on the importance of rituals, because I know even that has made people all spooked out, and kind of releasing the generations of wrong teaching, brainwashing, miseducation, all of that. So as you continuously release that, beloveds, then a lot of the people who are trying to interfere with your awakening process just won't have access to you. That's the only way. I wish there was an easier answer. But the only way to escape the attacks you're feeling is to go deeper into your awakening, devote more to it, dedicate more to it. And as you're doing that, be silent about your life. Don't share everything. Learn to keep things to yourself. And really ask Spirit for guidance on that. And just, put yourself first, beloveds. And as you continuously do this, you'll notice that the spiritual attacks, you start to know where they're coming from. You can even know how to deal with them. You'll get the information of how to stop them or deal with them, or they'll just stop altogether because they'll be too low for where you're vibing. If you have any questions you'd like me to answer around this topic, go ahead and leave it in the comments below or email me, drmumbi@drmumbishow.com. Tuko pamoja.